You're listening to the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wrestling Nerdcast on the Angry Marks Podcast Network with your host, Will Huckabee and Mika Villas.
And welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode 68. I can't believe we've made it this long. Come to think of it, I think that my co-host and our producer doesn't believe that we've made it this long. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it is the weekly review, aka the Wrestling Nerdcast. As usual, this is a crowdsourced, patron-funded campaign. If you like what we do, if you like who we talk to, if you want us to do more of it, be sure to check out our Patreon. That's right, patreon.com/the Wrestling Nerdcast. As usual, I'm your host, the AIWF World Heavyweight Champion, the World Wrestling Grand Prix Champion, the disrespectful intellectual, the Southern Gentleman, a national treasure and a reality TV star. Good morning, star. Incredible Huck, Will Huckabee, chilling once again. And as usual, I'm joined by my co-host. She's the lover of waffles, the voice of the speech impediment, one half of the world's cutest commentary team. She is Chicago Win. She is the receiver of all things unsolicited, Mrs. Hashtag What That Mouth Do, Mika Villas. What up, Mika?
What up, Trainwreck? How you doing?
You know, such a busy weekend.
My gosh.
Such a great week. I got a couple of, this was like the adult themed wrestling show weekend for me. Saturday, I was in Charlotte, North Carolina for Sober Slam 5, which is basically a annual show at this rehab place for young people, teenagers and young adults. We did a wrestling show, and it was ridiculous. There were so many creative chants, for lack of a better phrase. There was a lot of creative chants from a lot of these young kids. I got the first time ever faced off against a North Carolina wrestler, Ivan Ali. Really, really good time. Had a really good match and stuff. I felt kind of Ricky Morton-ish. I didn't get a chance to tell you this, but after I lost, through nefarious means, there was a couple of young ladies who actually cried. So I was feeling kind of good about myself if people were crying. It was so hurt that I lost.
Were they happy you lost, maybe? Tears of joy?
No, not tears of joy. Only you would do that, asshole. And then, of course, Sunday was AWE, Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment presents Cease and Desist, the musical. I'm going to go ahead and say that while I enjoyed the show, was not a big fan of 2 out of the 3 local acts. The last guy was okay. The last guy was pretty good. But the first 2 guys, I don't know if it was them or the sound system or what, but it was just garbled. It sounded like they were swallowing the mic.
Wow.
I just wasn't really into it, you know what I'm saying? But I did enjoy the third guy, even though he was trying to rep the hierarchy. I did enjoy his music. Got to pull out some high-flying moves. Got to do the first ever Huckarana seen at Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment. I was in the scramble match. Fans enjoyed it. They threw money, which is pretty cool. So, what was your take on not only, the Huckarana, but also the show and the music, which made it a musical, I guess?
Yeah, remember when we talked to Josh Wheeler? He said that it was going to be a musical because there was going to be local musical acts. So I was interested just to see how it turned out. I am not a fan of hip hop by any means, but I'm going to have to disagree with you. Like the musical acts, they weren't bad as far as, the sound and their wording. The third guy was better, but even the first set kind of kicked it off for me. It set the vibe, it set the tone. I was good with it. And again, I'm not a fan of that music. I don't even know the guys' names. I feel bad.
I don't know either.
I feel bad. We'll have to figure that out, maybe plug it someplace else. But the show is what I was there for. The music was just there for me, but the show is what it was. And that Huckarana was ridiculous. Whatever. The crowd was chanting 450 for some reason, but you shut them up and shut them down with that. I was not expecting it. I was on commentary. I was on my kind of lonesome. My other half is on assignment in Florida right now, so
Is that what we're saying? He's on assignment?
He's on assignment. That is correct. That is the truth.
AKA vacation?
No. He is definitely on assignment. We'll talk about that at a later date. But I was able to kind of be a little more freer and more I guess myself with this match on the commentary. So there are some clips of it, some video out there, and I'm kind of loud, so you might even hear my commentary.
Oh, I heard you on commentary during the main event on the other side of the building. I decided I really wanted to get a good view of the main event, which was Joe Black versus independent wrestling legend, former WWE talent, current Impact star Eddie Kingston. I really wanted a good seat for that, and literally I could hear you on commentary on the other side of the building.
I mean, let's put it like this. The Opera nightclub, Opera is indeed an old converted opera house into a nightclub. So the acoustics in the building are set to carry sound. I happen to be one with an impressive set of lungs, and the sounds travel. So, yeah.
You see, are you trying to tell us that you have a great throat game?
I did not say that. I'm loud.
What's your diaphragm?
Yeah, I'm loud and I'm proud, okay? Whatever. So and again, let me add to my typical normal buoyancy, loudness, and the alcohol was flowing. Your girl, thanks everybody who got your girl drinks and shots, because even you, let me thank you because you hooked me up.
Huge shout out to the Opera nightclub for their unlimited bottomless mimosas for $25. I'm not even gonna lie, ladies and gentlemen, they had bottomless mimosas for $25, and I literally drank $150 worth of mimosas. It was like turned out to be like 15. I drank like 15 mimosas before the show even started. But don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen, I was fine. Like once I finished my last one, I started slamming water before my match. So don't think that I was being unsafe. I totally wasn't. It's mimosas. It's champagne. I mean, who can't drink champagne and then wrestle? Jesus.
How many people drink champagne before they wrestle? I mean, who are you, MJF all of a sudden?
World champion. Thank you very much. World champion.
You should have been drinking beer then. That's the kind of world champion you are.
Boo. Only if they had like Old English or some other malt liquor.
Exactly. 40 ounces. I don't think they sell that, but you would have walked in with your own.
Oh, you damn sure would have. I will say, highlight for me during the AWE show was the promo. After Chip Day, I guess, interfered in the main event and got Joe Black disqualified or whatever by attacking Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston and both Joe both cut some hellacious promos. Eddie Kingston obviously was very fired up, very spirited. May or may not have called Chip Day a cocksucker a couple of times. Just, full of fire, the Eddie Kingston that we all know and appreciate. And then came Joe, and Joe got the mic, and I'm not even going to lie, as much as I don't like the guy, like that, based off of that promo, I would buy a ticket to the next show. It was some deep, even Larry Goodman agreed with me. So ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who Larry Goodman is, he runs Georgia Wrestling History. He reviews like a lot of, Georgia shows and East Tennessee shows and stuff. He's like the Georgia version of Dave Meltzer, I guess.
Pretty much, yes. That's exactly the comparison you need to make. Larry Goodman makes or breaks Georgia wrestlers. So if you have a good review, you are good. If you have a horrible review, hang your boots up and perhaps yourself. I mean,
did you read the review?
I did not.
Okay, well, I'm gonna give you a spoiler alert. He may or may not have told a group of gentlemen that he hoped that they didn't pay full tuition for their training because they'll never make their money back in wrestling.
Wow. Okay.
That was almost a verbatim quote.
and again, this brutal honesty. You either are going to do one or two things as a performer. You're either going to take his advice or you're going to try to prove him wrong. So a lot of people have proved him wrong over the years. While he has been the make or break in Georgia, you can actually break a Goodman review by, stepping your game up. So a lot of people have done that.
I'm about to say, I'm one of those guys, man. My first year, maybe my first 18 months, Larry Goodman tore me a new asshole every time I was at a show. And And I was like, I'm going to stick around to make him eat those words, you know. And it's cool because now when I see him, you know, I ask him, hey, what was your opinion and stuff about the show? What do you like so far about the show? And he always gives me a good review now. You know, he might give me a little bit of critiques and stuff, but it's nowhere near as harsh as what he said about me when I first popped into the Georgia scene, and nowhere near as bad what he said about certain people about Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment show.
So yeah, that's that. But yeah, it was a great show. You can check out, as you talked about, the promos at the end of the show. I recorded a lot on Facebook. You can check it out under my Facebook, Mika Villas. You can also go to Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment's Facebook. They shared it because it was wild. It was crazy. And by words alone.
She recorded everything but my match as usual.
I'm sorry, you had a match? I saw other people that were talented, and I thought you were just out there to cheer them on.
Just directing traffic.
I really honestly didn't see you. You must have been turned sideways and got really skinny.
I'm a 265-pound black guy. You saw me.
I was also very drunk. You look like everybody else.
I'm going to remember that the next time there's unlimited mimosas. I'm going to remember that. I'm like, no, you can't. I'm John Cena. You can't see me. Go to the bar and get your own drink.
That's okay. I have friends in places. They buy me drinks, so it's good. It's all good, yeah.
Let them buy you drinks. So what other shows did you go to this week, Mika?
Starting off Friday, I went to Action Wrestling in Tyrone, Georgia. That was a benefit show for Advo Kids, the second Action Wrestling show. Matt Griffin put this together. There was Anthony Henry and Tracy Hot Sauce Williams on the card, along with Kane Justice, AC Mack. Great show. James Bandy, a lot of up-and-coming people in the wrestling scene, especially here in the Southeast, along with some established performers. Slim J was on this card. And if you do not know who Slim J is, or Gladiator Jeremiah, you are doing yourself a disservice, folks. I need you to look him up. You look him up on YouTube or whatever. This guy is, no pun intended, but I'm going to say it, phenomenal.
I don't understand. You know, I've known Slim J for several years now, and I just don't understand why a lot of, I guess, larger independent promotions have bypassed him or just don't give him the look that they should give him. Like, this kid is, and I don't want to say kid because he's a grown man, but this guy is, for lack of a better word, he's phenomenal. Trained by AJ Styles, really made his bones and stuff in NWA Wildside and NWA Anarchy and stuff, man. He's been in the rings with so many former and current WWE and Ring of Honor, Impact stars, and so many New Japan stars and stuff. Like, I don't understand what is the deal with professional wrestling not showing Slim J the love that he deserves.
Well, his match Friday, Slim J versus Cam Carter, was one of those matches. It is eye-opening. You can check it out on Powerbomb TV. And if you don't subscribe to Powerbomb TV, if you type the keyword action, you can get like the first 20 days free or something. It is worth it. I said to people, get Powerbomb TV, get the free trial subscription, watch this match, and then cancel your Powerbomb, because you need to throw the whole everything away after you watch this match, because it is that freaking good. I recorded a lot of it. I'm going to try to post it, but it was absolutely positively off the charts. These two guys, Slim J, Cam Carter, tore it up, and they weren't even the main event. That was on Friday. Saturday, I went to UIW, Universal Independent Wrestling. The main event had the Hierarchy, Adrian Armour, and Blacklist Uno, going up against Chip Day, and I don't remember who Chip's partner was. It doesn't matter. The Hierarchy won. Huh? Was it Chris May? Chris May was in the building. I don't remember if he actually, no, he did not wrestle. It doesn't matter.
I say because Chip turned on him Sunday, so.
Yeah, that was spoiler alert, but yeah, it doesn't matter. The Hierarchy, as they always do, win. That's what happened on Saturday. Great little showing out there in Carrollton, Georgia. at the VWF Livestock Pavilion, and then Sunday.
Shit right.
Yeah, I mean, it's the middle of nowhere. There's nothing out there but the wrestling, so who cares? And then Sunday, we rolled into AWE, we rolled into the Opera nightclub, and set the place on fire. And we're gonna do it again on the 29th.
Yeah. Oh Jesus, I don't even want to think about that. Like that weekend's gonna be so horrible for me.
You'll be okay, maybe.
Yeah, hopefully. I don't know. I have like a 5-day stretch that week. The next couple of weeks of July is like full of 5 and 6 day road trips for me. I'm gonna be so tired.
You're tired now.
Maybe. I don't know. All right, let's see. What's going on? Has there been a WWE pay-per-view lately? No,
we're coming up this Sunday is Extreme Rules.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes, Extreme Rules, where they set a matchup on Monday. Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax at Extreme Rules in an Extreme Rules match. And they said Extreme Rules so many times in that sentence setting that matchup, I went, this is stupid. So you'll see Nia and, my Amazon product is about to go off here because I have the name Bliss. I see it lighten up as I talk, but we're going to see Miss Bliss, I'm sure, retain, as Ronda Rousey is suspended, but she has said that she bought a ringside ticket and she will be right there front row to watch the action.
But when they say Extreme Rules, I mean, are we going to get like ECW Extreme with like light TV? You're going
to get WWE Extreme, which means you'll see a table and chairs. Maybe. That's if the girls can handle the hardware. Meaning, Nia's got to pull out a table. Alexa will have a chair. Nope, not even a kendo stick. They're not going to let them swing that. So, yeah. Maybe he'll break out a cookie sheet. That's very sexist, but I think that's the only thing that will happen. Extreme.
Sexist would say if you bring out a baking pan.
Cookie sheet, baking pan, it's the same thing. I mean,
I'm not a big fan. Once again, like, I feel like, this entire pay-per-view is going to be horrible. The only thing that's making me happy right now is the fact that Mr. No Chin Music is back. Like, that's the only thing that's making me happy is that James Ellsworth is back in WWE.
James Ellsworth is back in WWE.
Yes.
He's feuding around with Asuka as he's helped Carmella tonight. I guess spoiler alert if you did not watch SmackDown. Asuka and James Ellsworth were scheduled to have a match. Of course, hilarity ensued. There was no real match. A couple shoves, a couple slaps, spitting back fist, and Ellsworth ran like a scared little girl.
Now, here's my question. Here's my question, especially with the whole Me Too movement and everything. Are they really going to allow an intergender match on WWE?
Oh, it's not allowable at all by any way, shape, or form. WWE, again, is a corporate sponsored product where they have tons of sponsorship dollars that come in to help fund their endeavors. Canada is also huge, of course, in the WWE universe. They do not allow men on women violence to be broadcast on television. There is no way. Yes, really.
I did not know that.
So there is no way that they will be able to broadcast SmackDown Live in Canada. Well, they can show the show, but that part of the show will be cut out, which means they would lose any advertising dollars that they have during that match, any commercial breaks or leading up to it. So, no. Again, Ellsworth got no offense in tonight. He'll get no offense in again. Asuka will be able to hit him, but he will not be able to hit her.
Well, here's my thing. How can the woman say that she's really equal? I don't even want to talk about it. We'll wait. You know what? We will wait until tonight's guest. We will wait. We will wait until tonight's guest to ask that question. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's guest. Well, we made it a whole nother week. I don't know how, but if last week's show didn't get us kicked off the network, this week's show might. We'll be right back in a few seconds. Do you like what you hear? Do you like hearing me and Mika go back and forth between ourselves and talking to some amazing guests from around the world of pro wrestling? Well, then be sure to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/The Wrestling Nerdcast. Donate everything from $7 and up. And as your donations go up, so do the prize packages. Everything from a follow on social media to join our exclusive Wrestling Nerdcast Facebook group to being able to book your own podcast with a guest of your choice within reason, people. Because trust and believe, we're not getting Stone Cold or AJ Styles on this podcast. But once again, if you like us, please support us and spread the word. Thank you. Talk to you later. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, this is the Wrestling Nerdcast on the Angry Marks Podcast Network. Huge shout out to all of our sponsors. First of all, shout out to our friends at Indie Customs. Check out Indie Customs on Facebook. Check them out on Twitter for all of your pro wrestling and non-pro wrestling merchandise needs. Be sure to get some merchandise for not only this podcast, but also from such great wrestlers such as the Gymnasty Boys, James Drake, Lethal Lovers, TJ Boss, Mr. Sleeves, etc., etc., etc. While you're doing that, huge shout out to our friends at Pro Wrestling World on Facebook for all of your WWE, Lucha Underground, Impact, Brit Wrestling, American Wrestling, all of your wrestling needs and gossip and who's doing what and when and where and why. And after you do all of that stuff, say what's up to our friend. What is that again, CW? Ultimate Division.
It is behavior driven.
Say what's up to our friends at Behavior Driven for all of your, social media needs, for all of your IT needs. If you got some stuff that needs to be fixed, talk to our friends at Behavior Driven. Pictures, graphic designs. Our friends at Behavior Driven can do it all. Tonight's guest is a friend of the show. I think she's been on this show more than anybody else, and that's because we love her, because we always have a good time. She is the longest reigning Gouge Pro Wrestling Women's Champion. She is a Japanese wrestling star. She's done several tours in Japan. She has beaten bitches up and down the East Coast, Midwest, you name it. She has been there, done that. She is the original She-Hulk of the South. Our friend, Big Bang Nicole. What up, Roni?
What up? Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, man. It's been a while. It's been a long time. You're back from Japan once again, and now you're back on the Indies kicking ass. But we're gonna shoot. I'm gonna go ahead and get the ball rolling. Because you've been doing a lot of things, and you know how wrestling is, and people gossip, and people know what you're doing and what you're not doing, and you can say they're hating or they're not. Huh?
Is this one of those? Is this going to be one of those episodes?
I'm no, maybe, yes.
Oh.
You realize who you're talking to, right? This is Huckabee.
Yeah. But see, first time, that was, I don't know. I felt like he wasn't trying to provoke me into trouble.
No.
But
we always try to have fun, but this is media, and as a media pro wrestling journalist, I have to do my due diligence, as you like to see. Yes.
That title. Where did you get that title?
This asshole stole my gimmick because I swear I said that. What the hell?
What? Don't you? Okay, I guess.
I'm trying to live my truth. Right? Living my truth.
Live it.
So speaking of truth, because you almost broke the fucking internet. You definitely broke wrestling Twitter for a couple of weeks. Let's hear Ian Rodden. What happened?
First and foremost, let me say that because of some legal ramifications, there are certain things I cannot say, but I will tell you what I am allowed to say.
Okay.
I will say that IWA Mid-South has a legacy that regardless of my differences with John Williams, I respect in the regard that he really has created something that's really lasting and palpable in the Midwest. And I wanted to be a part of that. Danielson came through there, Rollins came through there, Elgin's gone through there. So it's a place that, if you're going to be an indie darling or at least get your chops, that's where you go through. At least this is my thinking. I had a couple people try to now, hindsight's 2020, give me a little iggy about going there based on their personal interactions with him on personal and professional levels. And of course, I'm going to change pro wrestling from the inside. So I thought...
Because that always works.
I believe it does. I know it sounds crazy, even as I'm, talking about this situation, but I do believe that it takes one to just make that change. Michael said it. you know? So I was thinking in terms of, yes, I understand that there has been a lot of controversy surrounding Mr. Williams. Yes, there has been a lot of negative stuff said, but I have not been there, and that's not me. That's kind of the approach that I, thought would be best to take. Long story short, we did start working together. I had some really great and fun matches there. The match where Faye and I are twerking was actually there. Big shout out to Faye Jackson, my big booty Judy sister from a different mister.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you. Yeah, I'm speaking of that. I'm gonna need you to like hook a brother up with it because I've messaged her so many times on the show, and like she was
negative.
Never.
I would never do that to her. I love her.
Here.
Okay.
I'll interview her. I will leave you on the sidelines at Huckabee because you are just, you're
right.
you.
Over the top. Extra. Okay. I was talking about how wonderful Faye is, not trying to give you a hookup. But anyway, so I had some really fun. Are you going to let me talk? Is this? Oh my God. See? I don't even want. This is why you can't be friends with people. I'll punch you. Oh. Anyway, yeah, it was just a lot of good things and bad things, which culminated in there was a women's tournament that he was having, and it was going to crown the first IWA women's champion, which technically speaking, and I'm just going to put this out there, should have been Amazing Maria because, one, she's amazing and she's an awesome, super dope person. She's really talented, and she's been there forever. She's like one of the originals. She may be the queen or the prince of the death matches, but, I feel like, anyway. But so we worked it out that I actually wasn't going to be in the tournament, that I was going to be doing some other things, but it was all super kayfabe because he actually does kind of believe in that still. So I get there and, everything changed, card subject to change. And he tells me I'm in the tournament and I'm going to have to do 2 singles, and then I'd face the person who was going to win and then, put them over, and then everything that we had talked about previous to that would still go ahead as planned, except I would not be doing it as a super secret run-in anymore. But everything else was still, on board. So nobody announced that I was going to be there, so I'm just like, cool deal, I'll do whatever. He had a little hesitation when I asked him about money, which was funny because the reason I was in the tournament was because someone was not going to be there. So the money you would think was there, but I told him if he could get me on the back end that would be okay. So, handshake, brother, dap it up, everything's fine. I keep hearing something about a photo and a picture, and so I'm getting ready. And to my knowledge, no one is telling me to do anything, so I'm still getting ready. And he comes back through the curtain super upset and screaming at me and yelling at me and trying to make a scene, which I had been warned that he has the habit of doing that as a rib or just if he's in a not great mood, which I had also witnessed staying at his place for a previous show where he thought something was missing that it wasn't, and he went nuclear. So, I really was thinking this was a ribbing situation, to be 100% with you guys, because he came back super mad that I wasn't in the group photo. And I didn't think that was, a real thing. I wasn't trying to be an asshole, but I was like, what? Are you for real? Not thinking that he was, actually mad. So my whole attitude is very casual as he's very upset. And I do remember saying, what are you talking about? Nobody knew I was going to be here. So how did I ruin the picture? So I don't think that was the best thing to say to him, because after that, things went sideways. And he started taking me out of the matches he had put me in. And so that's when it kind of clicked that he was being for real and serious about stuff. And so I was like, yeah.
I'm about to say, so, and then shit, like you said, stuff went sideways. It's so funny, listening to you tell your side of the story and everything. And at the same time, you're not really, I don't know, you're not really burying the company. Do you, in your,
I don't have a reason to.
In your opinion, do you still think that, IWA Mid-South is a good place to go work at?
No, I know that sounds crazy, but because
explain.
Because I really genuinely believe in wrestling first. To the day I fucking die, I believe that this activity has the power to transform lives. And for me personally, that'll supersede any bullshit that I go through in wrestling. Is it taxing? Yeah. Does it suck? Yeah. Is it pathetic that a grown-ass man tried to fight me? Also, yeah. Also, anytime you do want to rematch John Williams, you got my address, Hampton.
I'm about to say, first of all, I've been in the ring with you, and you can't just play it off like, oh, I'm a female, you shouldn't hit me. Because damn it, Ronnie, if we had to go there and like an actual outside the ring fist fight, I'm not gonna fight you. I'm gonna hit you with a car. Like, I'm not
ignorant. Okay, this isn't even about that, because I believe that if we step in the ring, we are equals, but we weren't in the ring.
Yeah.
We had a verbal contract to do something. You tried to not pay me, and then you put your hands on me first. What? No, not in Trump's America. That's not how it's going down. So, I think that people should keep in mind that everything that is said about him, no matter how much he and his tribe denies it, is true. But we all have messed up parts to us. We all have inappropriate parts. I'm in no way defending him. Like I said when I made my post, and as I'm going through everything I'm going through right now, like, I don't have ties with him. I'm not going to tell people to go work there. But I'm also not going to tell people to not work there. I just have to put my side out as the truth and hope that people make better decisions than I did, because I went in truthfully naive, like, oh, that's not going to happen to me. But then people come out of the woodwork afterwards with these horror stories about stuff that he's done to them, like on a real personal, like, grimy level, just over petty stuff. And I think it's really dangerous if we allow that to continue. I think it's really irresponsible for people who do know that happens to not speak out and to not tell the truth for a position, because wrestling will always be there. IWA will be there even after him. And so, like, there can't be, though, this unspoken okayness, or however you want to say it, with when fucked up shit happens, whether I'm a female or not. And I honestly believe stuff happened to me because I bend, but I don't break. But I'm thinking long term. The stuff that he's done to girls that messaged me, what if it had been some new trainee girl that he shoved and she couldn't take it? Like, he shoved me so hard, Nevaeh Chris was going through the curtain, I almost bumped her on her entrance. So, like, I'm a big girl, you know what I mean? Like, what if that had been somebody small? What if he does something worse to somebody else? You have to think about if they're going to escalate to this, which really was a situation that didn't need to escalate to physical, like, at all. The way that I talked to him and interacted with him the whole time was the way that I'm talking to you guys. Like, I was really chill. Mostly because I was shocked and confused that this was legit happening, but, like, also because I'm not going to fight you unless you put your hands on me. He decided to cross that line. That was a choice that he made, and I acted accordingly. But no, like, that's not the same as, like, me going and beating your ass, Will, in the ring because I'm better. That's different.
Well, speaking of people all the time and in Trump's America, unfortunately, Ronnie, I have to let you speak to my co-host, the lover of waffles and the receiver of all things unsolicited, Mika Villas. Mika, what do you have for our guest tonight?
I have a better interviewer. That's what I have, considering that she had to deal with you.
I love you so much, Mika.
No, I like what you said, and I appreciate what you said, because I think it's important that not just women or girls, but even guys know that in this business, I'm learning real fast that people will try to take advantage, and some of it will be verbal, but there are people who just get downright physical, and some people will just kind of take it because it's allowable or because they seem like it's okay, because it just happens. You just kind of brush it off, and that you took a stand, that you're not going to, take this because everybody else is okay with it. Nobody should be okay with it, and I applaud you for that.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Now, all that,
and I believe that we as people need to just try to be better in general for others. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say that people who've had stuff happen to them that they're wrong for not speaking out, but I do think that there are enough people who have enough backbone that it shouldn't have ever got to that point. You know what I mean? It's one thing to be infamous. It's another to be infamous. You know, so I don't know, Mika. People are real out of pocket. Again, Trump's America 2018.
Will's still here, so we know people are out of pocket. Let's talk about another country and your experience there. I know you are world traveled. One of the places here, kind of sort of close to home, but not really, is north of the border here in Canada. What's the deal with you and Canada, eh?
I don't think it's pronounced that way. It's not Canada.
Listen, I am part of Trump's America.
Nobody
we
worry
own
about
everything. There's a wall to the south. We'll put one to the north if necessary. And we'll call it what we want to.
Mika, you're up in shame. I love it. So you're probably referring to the CWE tour a couple years back. Long story short, I can't go in Canada. Like, I'm not allowed in the country.
Did you kill a Mountie? So, that'd be, I mean, not PCO, but any other Mountie. That'd be awesome.
I mean, no, I've never killed anyone to death.
If you do Edge of Death with Will, we're all good there. Okay.
I mean, to death.
To death.
But,
gotcha. Comas all around.
Canada.
Like she kept saying
Canada. I don't know a lot about Canada other than the Hearts and, you know, wrestling stuff. Oh, and, you know, Cat Power, who is from there, and she's an amazing wrestler. And she did some tours in Japan while I was there and was kind of like my Joshi mama, let me, you know, learn about life. But, you know, I'm not, like, super familiar with Canada. So apparently, like, if you have anything in the United States, such as a sealed record or prayer for judgment or, like, any plea that was entered that doesn't equal to their laws there, you have to do separate paperwork. So pretty much I just didn't have paperwork. But then, like, I kept going to Canada and, like, interacting with agents, and it really is a circumstance of who you come in contact with at the immigration office. Because if they're in a bad mood or, like, feeling some type of way, like, you're going to have a real bad time. But then I know people who have, like, you know, Law and Order, maybe not SVU, but, like, criminal intent long rap sheets, and, like, they go to Canada all the time. And I'm like, what? I'm not even 20 months in. Okay. So, you know, my interactions probably didn't help my situation. So my last interaction or my last tour, I actually flew through Canada. Now, it was my understanding, as per the research I did before going, that, you know, if I'm not staying there, I don't have to do anything. I just go on through, you know. And, of course, I hit up some of my mentors who have had, you know, similar situations to me, and they travel there. So, you know, trying to do my due diligence. Everybody's like, this is what could happen. This is what could happen. You probably need to do this, this, and this just in case. So for whatever reason, my plane gets redirected, or my people getting off the plane, like we have to go a different way than our other compatriots. And we went through immigration. And so that didn't go so well. Long story short, the lady at immigration, God bless her heart. I mean that truly. She got a little attitude because I wasn't able to recall my entire background or history with them and here in the States. And I might have said, do you remember every man you slept with? Kind of with an attitude. Right. So after that, oh man, it just went way down.
You did not say that.
I legit, bro, I was out of, I'm an athlete, I need to be on my best behavior mode, because I had already been there for a super long time, and I wasn't supposed to have stopped. I was supposed to get off my flight and go right to my next one. And so I was worried because, you know, going through immigration, it takes some time. If you have a lot of people, or the people are rude, or they're, you know, just being dickheads, whatever, like, you need at least an hour buffer just to be safe. And I did not have that. And so I'm watching the clock, and I'm like about to miss my flight back to Japan. And I'm like, we're not going to, what? You're giving me attitude because I don't carry around like a briefcase full of everything I did in my entire life? That's called being a bag lady. Erykah Badu said it was bad. Like, don't do that. Like,
I thought
anyway.
everybody got on me when I told the Mexican Border Patrol that I was from Wakanda.
I still think that pop was funny, and that did pop me. And the fact he didn't know was funny too. Like, but no, like, okay, full disclosure, I might have had some bourbons on the flight there.
Oh.
But I'm a nervous flyer now because now as I get older, I'm beginning to like panic. Like, oh no, if I break a bone, it could be like bad. You know, like, so I'm in a metal tube in the air, held up by hopes and dreams and science that people really, really can't explain to me. Like, really, really. Come on. All right. So yeah, I might have started, pre-flight, flight, and post-flight drinking. But I will say that it was the grace of God that got me through there, and my connecting flight was delayed 5 hours. But then I sat like a scared person in the airport because I kept seeing like police, because immigration was like, you need to leave our country right now. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to the plane. And I get to they were not like, dude, she called, after I said that comment, she calls over this big burly black guy, right? And I'm like thinking, okay, well, let me turn my, whatever on. Like, let me see if I can smooth this over. Wasn't having it. I was like, oh, man. So then they call over, like, this Scottish-looking guy. He looked like he was from freaking Braveheart or something. And he's, like, speaking French and, like, gesturing to me really rudely. And, like, the black guy's, like, chuckling, and she's, like, smirking. And I'm like, oh, I just let me, Jesus Lord. So, yeah, me and Canada aren't super good. I do have an immigration lawyer now, so I will be working on that. I'm not super happy I'm going to have to pay a bunch of money to do this, but wrestling first. And I would love to actually wrestle, like, all of the cool girls in Canada, like Giselle and Kat Power and
I thought Canadians were supposed to
Casey Spinelli, who I love so much. Big shout out to her.
I thought Canadians were supposed to be nice and polite.
Apparently, this one didn't sleep with anybody, or she slept with a maple syrup bottle, and Ronnie touched a nerve. Jeez.
I don't know your life. Okay, and for the record, I do know every guy that I slept with because I wrote it down, and I don't care if that sounds weird, but I need to know what has touched this jewel, okay? So, yeah, I would know the answer to that, but I can't help that you don't. But I'm not going to sit here and let you play me like I'm, running around like a criminal, like, because that's not it, and that's not your job. Like, your job is supposed to – why is Snoop Dogg playing right now? Sorry, my phone is, like, acting up. But, like, that's not your job to sit here and pass judgment on me, lady. It's your job to make sure that I'm not trying to come in your country smuggling cocaine up my butt, which I wouldn't do, or come and be a murderer, which I wasn't doing. I was just trying to wrestle. You know what I'm saying?
Notice whatever. That she didn't say that when it came to murderer, she said, which I wouldn't do. She just said, which I didn't come to do. Notice the phrasing. You notice that, Mika?
Right.
I actually like the phrasing because that means there was no intent, and intent will get you 5 more years. Non-intent will get you
right.
I'm with you, Ronnie.
You got it. You got it. Okay.
I'm gonna have to give you back though. I got you, but I'm gonna have to let you talk to this criminal because he don't know no better.
No.
Go ahead, Huck.
Right.
First of all, the fact that Mika knew the difference in prison time between intent and non-intent is kind of scary, especially for the fact that she doesn't even Huh?
No, that is not scary. If you watch enough of the Law and Order franchise, throw in a little bit of Sherlock and maybe some CSI Miami, you can figure out the legal system. Okay, it's not that hard.
All right, well, Ronnie, let's speak about things that are not hard. Because we're kind of cool now. When I first met you, I didn't like you. We had talked about that, and now we're really cool and we talk. Why do you feel like and let's just get it down for the record. Why do you feel like people don't like you?
I don't know. It's not my business. I mean, I know that's not. That came out bad. I believe it is not anyone's business what anyone thinks of them, because that's not what you should be focusing on here on Earth. But I think I am a legitimately real person. What they don't tell you about people who are real or who try to live authentically is that they don't have a whole lot of friends. They don't have a whole lot of people around them all the time, because You can't cut that off. And 99% of the time, no, I would say 89% of the time, people don't want the real truth. They don't want real honesty. They don't want to be told things that they know inside themselves. And for whatever reason, I can't turn that off. And for the longest time, I looked at it as a curse, but it's not. I really think that there have to be those people in the world who aren't afraid to do that and say and express what they feel unapologetically, because everybody, and I posted it on Facebook the other day, don't forget to have your shit together for the internet today. Like, everybody's so doing it for the gram or likes. But we were doing that even before that was a thing. We were doing it, keeping up with the Joneses back in the day. You know what I mean? Like, that shit's retarded. Oh, pardon my French. I take that back. It is. I'm gonna
have to explain that. I'm gonna have to explain that to Mika after the show goes off, because I'm pretty sure she doesn't know what keeping up with the Joneses means.
Well, yeah, you're an old dinosaur, so you would know.
Well, Mika's way older than I am.
Not even.
But I remember one of the things that one of the biggest chisms in between our relationship, and the reason why me and you did become cooler earlier is because when we met, I was trying to, talk to you wrestler to wrestler, try to explain the wrestling business to you as a wrestler from a male point of view, and without even realizing that wrestling is different when you're a female, and it's even more different when you are a black female in professional wrestling.
Zion Church Tabernacle, Pentecostal, Apostolic, okay? All that, yes.
Mount Calvary.
Oh, man.
Don't forget Mount Calvary. Mount Calvary in Christ, the Reverend Bishop Diocese.
We're going to have the homecoming. The service is going to be 6 hours long.
Exactly. They're all 4 choirs. Yeah, 4 choirs. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, my God, yes! And children's choir is terrible, but we don't clap for these babies because they're up here trying their hardest.
You can't believe nobody in church. Anyway.
But yes, you're right. Now. It is different. Sorry.
But no, okay. As a black female wrestler and stuff, what are some of the things that you have to deal with that's different from, your white contemporaries? And do you get along with other black female wrestlers?
I mean, I would think so, but according to you, probably not. But no, no. I'm going to answer in reverse. Yes, I do, and I don't. But that's not just with black female wrestlers. That's with wrestlers in general. But I don't have also, like, a lot of other black female wrestlers around me. Like, I'm not lucky like the Charlotte crew. Like, George South has a lot of great students, and they're, near each other, and they train together. And then you've got a great group of girls down in Georgia. They're near each other, and, they train under A.R. Fox, the WWA4. So, like, they have each other because they're also close in proximity to each other. So, like, I don't have that sort of network, but I do have my queens that I reach out to. And, we do have my, I guess, long-distance tribe, so to speak. But that also comes with that I'm an only child, so I'm used to being by myself. So 9 times out of 10, like, even though I'm an entertainer and I love performing and I want to be crazy and in the spotlight and doing all this amazing stuff to help people, forget about their life and forget about the difficulties they have for just a moment, when I'm done with that, I want to be quiet, or maybe I want to be in a bookstore, or I want to go out and dance or go to a movie, or I want to do something that's low key and not crazy. And so, like, I have my friends who are outside of wrestling that I do that with, and that those are my, connections, my melanated connections that I really lean on. But it's definitely...
Let me ask you a question, Ronnie. Ronnie, let me ask you a question. I hate to cut you off. Like how you were saying, yes, I do. You say like the Georgia and South Carolina, Charlotte and everything. Are we seeing that, even though, like, if you listen to Daddy Vance and all them in Connecticut, they're going through a women's revolution. Are we going through a black girl revolution as well?
Oh, absolutely. Black girl magic is at an all, whoo, and it's blown up. Like, within the past, what? Are you? Oh, my gosh.
You got to remember who you're talking to here. He's old.
I know.
I'm not trying to be
God.
patriarchal or whatever that word is that Ronnie likes to call me.
Oh my gosh. I want you
You're
to get it
basically-
right before you keep saying it.
You're like that.
And don't do that. I told you that you have tendencies, and I tried to, like, lovingly correct you so that I don't make you feel like a dickhead for doing something that you don't know you're doing. So give full context before you make me sound like, you know, a negative alt-right feminist. Okay? Like,
Right.
Anyway.
Right. Next, we got to teach switches.
Yo,
Speaking of
they were
tiki
selling
torches.
those at Dollar Tree, and I was like, come on, Dollar Tree. Like,
Jesus.
it was like in the luau aisle. I was like, y'all didn't really want to
I'm
rethink
gonna buy
this.
like 30 of them the next time I wrestle in like Kentucky or something. Or
And just pass them out.
Yeah, just hand them out.
I brought them for you guys.
Speaking of tiki torches and alt-right, Nika, what do you have for our guest?
What?
Oh my gosh!
I didn't even get to answer the second part.
I know
Mika,
he's
fine.
horrible. Please, by all means, answer the second part of the question. We're just gonna cut him out of the equation here. Sit there and look pretty. Well, you can just sit there. You can't look pretty. Go ahead, Ronnie. Answer.
It is difficult. It is challenging being a black woman in professional wrestling. I recently had the opportunity to connect with Robin Reed out of Booker T's Reality of Wrestling. Big shout out to Mr. T and all of his students, especially Robin. We were actually down in Florida together for some time, and she's amazing and tremendous, and just we connected because we were both overwhelmed with the same feeling. Some things had happened, and someone with lesser experience but more vaginal connections was given an opportunity. And
not saying that somebody
it was
got an opportunity because they slept with somebody. You're not saying that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But we were discussing this particular situation and, others like it, and just kind of came to the realization that it is a grind. There was something that was going around on Facebook about the talk, where, minority parents have to talk to their kids about how growing up in wherever they are is going to be. And I remember the talk, and I remember my mom telling me, you're going to have to work 10 times as hard just to prove that you're second, and I don't ever want you to be second, and you have to show that you're better. And I just remember such enormous pressure and like panic, because I felt like, that's exhausting to have to live your life that way. And the sad fact is that's the reality. And with wrestling, especially when the margin for success is really, really slim and hard to attain, if your whole measure of success is making it all the way to the top. That's a different thing. But it's even slimmer and harder to attain if you're a female, if you're a minority female, if you're a full-figured minority female, if you're outspoken and you really don't have one of those filters that allows you to deal with bullshit. So, I got a lot of things going on, which some would see as obstacles, but I just see it as being able to break that ceiling, because I was recently at RSWF in Tennessee. Big shout out to Soul Taker and everybody up there. Shout out to the lady who brought my promo photo and ripped it up. Appreciate you.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. I got so much heat up there. It was delicious. I feed off the energy. Yummy. But anyway, we were up there, and, like, these two little girls were scared to come talk to me, so their dad, like, pushed them in front of me. And one of the girls, like, they're these two little black girls, and one of the girls was like, "You were really mean." I was like, "Yeah, and?" Her sister was like, "I liked it." And I was like, "Yeah." Like, these kids... these kids are seeing me at such a young age and seeing that I'm doing something on whatever level that is they see, on TV, and that they put two and two together. They see themselves, and then they see this, and they have the door opens for them. Like, well, if she's doing it, I'm going to be able to do whatever I want to do. I didn't have that. I grew up around mostly white people. Like, I wasn't exposed to, Jazz or Jacqueline until I was maybe in my teens, later, late tweens, I guess you would call it, my tweens. So, representation matters. And so regardless of the challenges and regardless of the obstacles, that really matters. Like Robin and I were discussing, and I didn't believe it when she told me, and she was like, between all the major brands the WWE has running right now, there are only 4 African American women.
Name the 4, because people might have a difficulty naming the 4, because we played this game the other day, trying to get 10 African Americans in the WWE, and it was like, oh, they're not currently. So name the 4 women.
Don't let me forget anybody. So it's Bianca, Sasha.
I forgot her.
Naomi, and shoot, now I can't even name the 4. Who did I forget? She has to be fully JoJo. Oh wait, did she get fired? No, she's still there.
No, she's still there, and she is WWE something. So yeah, she's not in the ring, but I forgot about Bianca. So yeah, there's your 4.
So who did I miss? Who was on your list? Because like we were discussing like African American. Now as far as my minority women, you know, you've got Mia and Tamina and who else?
Oh my gosh!
I get, yeah. Do you see what's happening right now?
Yeah, we're
out of all of the people,
you know, and that's because you don't see it on television all the time. They're not represented as, I don't want to say their true selves, but they're not represented as, like Sasha is not identified as African American. I laughed and I cried the other day because there is another Mattel set of dolls out, and Sasha and Stephanie, the dolls in the picture, it's one of Stephanie McMahon's tweets. I was like, I had to adjust the color on my screen just to make sure, but no, Sasha and Stephanie were the exact same color for the doll.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Like all of her photos and like all of her stuff, she's super airbrush light. Like her it's really, you know, and I'm not even going to get into the whole colorism thing with you, Mika, but you know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it was like I said, I was like, oh my God, this is horrible. This is horrible, you know.
And it's disappointing because it's not just like, I can't even imagine how people from China felt that it took that long for there to be some, you know, legitimate non-racist Chinese representation. You know what I mean? Like, there shouldn't be this much of an issue with diversity, period. It's 2018. Again, never telling Vince McMahon how to do his job. I hear he doesn't like that. But it's 2018, dude. Your product is watched by so many people. Your product touches so many lives. Do you know how many rappers put wrestling references in their songs? Do you know how many sitcoms and TV shows have like one-liners that if you're not a wrestling fan, you're not going to pick that up? Like, it's touched so much, it should be representative of that. And the world today is not white male or white female anymore. That's just not the reality. And I think that even if we are entertainers and we suspend people's disbelief, it still has to be believable to us because we live it every day. You know what I mean? I've got friends from all over the world. My friends list isn't just one color. I think that it needs to be equal. You can't just like put some pepper in the pot and act like you flavored the water.
That is the truth. Okay, speaking of truth, Huckabee likes to say I'm the receiver of all things unsolicited, and I'm new to the game. You know, all I'm doing is commentating, some ring announcing here and there, what have you. But my DMs are crazy, absolute lunacy, and mine's on a smaller scale comparatively speaking, I'm sure. Who?
Oh God.
Hold on, Roni. Can I say and Mika is watching. I actually stepped away for a second to refill my huge ass goblet because I'm drinking some real good Tibetan, some really good Himalayan water blessed by Tibetan monks. Because I can't wait to hear the answer for this. I've been waiting the whole interview.
I'm not answering that, okay? And you know why I'm not answering that directly? Because in the event that someone ever wants to spill the tea on early Roni Nicole, okay, I don't look. Don't judge me.
Was early Roni Nicole a thirst trap?
I don't know what those words mean.
I don't know either.
What does that mean?
Like, was you?
Don't be using stuff you don't know.
Was you all? That's what the young kids call it. They call it a thirst trap. Was you all up in everybody's DM? first started?
Like, when I first started, I had my eye on some people who were hot on the indies at the time. Now, you got to remember, this was a couple years back, so those people have moved on and upwards. So now it's weird because, like, I know them, and it's like, oh, gosh, I'm glad I never sent that message. But there was, this time, my beginning of training overlapped with the end of, I guess, Sodomania for me.
Sodomania.
And so I was just, and in all senses of the word, I was just reckless, with life, with decisions, with choices of outfits, heel height, and so I was maybe a little overly flirtatious with some people that I probably shouldn't have been with. But I will say that the person who described me the most recently got picked up by them. And like, he and I knew each other in passing for years. Like, him and I remember this because I met his brother at a Marvelous USA show, and I wasn't like big into who was hot on the indies during that time. Like, I was really still studying old film. So I wasn't super familiar with a lot of his work, but he was already on the way into the E, okay? And so, like, I was like, oh, where do you wrestle? And he kind of gave me the, oh, here and there, kind of because I guess he thought I was an asshole, and like, you don't know who I am, but I wasn't trying to not, know who he was or whatever. It was just a weird exchange. Right. Like, I genuinely, was just like, hey, I want to meet you and know who you are. So it was like a weird exchange. And so then I met his brother comes out, and I meet him. And, just every couple years we see each other at a show. Hey, how you doing? I started seeing someone, and, we didn't ever like have any interaction that would have led me to think what would happen next would happen. So I'm at a show in December of last 2017, and we're just chit-chatting and stuff, and he's like, hey, make sure you stay on the promoter about money and stuff. It's really, important that you get taken care of. Sometimes he forgets, or he'll be like, I'll send it to you in a couple weeks, and then he, doesn't send it, so just make sure you stay on top of him. And I was like, thanks for the heads up. Like, it was always something like that when we actually did interact. So later that night, I'm out to dinner with some people from the show, and my Instagram DMs pop, and he's like, do you get taken care of, blah, 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 just normal talk, right? And so then it's like one of those little pictures that's like furry. It's like fuzzy, so you can't see immediately unless you click on it, right?
Right.
And I click on it, and it's like him in a foggy shower. Oh. And I'm like, what? Huh? And again, legitimately confused, because I'm like, what? Who? Okay. And like, yes, I've gotten unsolicited dicks and, taints and like weird stuff before, but like, this was just like, hey, I'm trying to be sexy for you, and it was like super out of left field, and I was like, what is going on? So I put like LOL winky face. Because I didn't know, like...
You opened the door with the winky face, yeah.
Was it really? Because I just felt like, this is so weird, like, okay, let's just make you go away. So then he messages me, you like? And I'm like, oh, brother. Oh, no. So, see, that's when I realized what I had done. So I was like, oh, man. And I was like, oh, it's foggy.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So, like...
2 minutes later,
so he reads it. No. He reads it, and then he doesn't respond, okay? So I'm, I'm at dinner, and I'm not trying to be a dickhead on the phone. So later on, when I actually get back, because we had to come back from the show, I go and just, look at his Facebook page. Awesome long-term girlfriend who also happens to be my color. Interesting. Okay. Well, so that same day... I get, another little smiley face, and then it's like him, like, in a sexy, almost seeing his, eggplant emoji, whatever. And I'm like, oh, man, I don't even know. So I didn't, like, I read it, and then I just sent, like, the little bro hand, like tubular or whatever.
The fist bump, yeah.
No, the little one with, like, the thumb and the pinky out.
Oh!
She's from the snooker handshake. She's from the snooker wave. She's from the super fly snooker wave.
I hit him with that, and then, like, he messaged me again, but, guys, I, like, had to ghost him. Like, I didn't read it for, like, 2 weeks, and then, like, I went back and read it, and it was, like, him trying to talk normally again, and I was like, I'm so done with this. And so when I see that he gets picked up by WWE, I'm like, here recently, I'm like, oh, man, God. And, like, I'm not going to drop names because I'm waiting for my memoir. Like, I really want to put, like, the photo of the person and all their screenshots in my book, but I want to already have been signed and be rich by then. You know what I mean? Like, I can't run the risk right now. But I will say that was one of the more surprising.
Let me ask a question. For all of the guys, this is for all of the guys who are out there sending stuff in people's DMs. What's the best way to get into somebody's DM? Like, what phrase?
Don't be a creeper.
What's the advice What's the advice you would give to somebody to be success, to have success in the DM?
I don't know what success would be, because my success is not going to be the same as, say, Mika's or any of my other girlfriends. Like, I can't speak for them. I want y'all to stop thinking we're all the same. We're multifaceted people, okay? We don't all like small dogs, even though they're awesome, and we don't all, like, have a meltdown because someone doesn't Snapchat us back. Like, we're all different. So maybe just approaching someone like a human being would be cool. Like, hey, I'm so-and-so. I think you're attractive. Would you like to have a drink or some coffee? If not, cool. You're not a bitch just because you say no. You know what I mean? Like, use some fucking common sense, people. It's not, so like...
That's the phrase, like, hey, can we pull a Luke Cage? You're like, yo, you want to get some coffee?
No, I'm not going to lie. That works for me, because shout out to Derek Eason, who does a lot of amazing artwork. Make sure you check out him and Fernando Lyons. Fernando Lyons is actually the guy who drew my new t-shirt, Big Bang Nicole, on sale now, $22 for regular sizes. Y'all inbox me. They are hot. But, like, he did a cool Bushmaster piece of art and put it on his Instagram. And Bushmaster fucking retweeted it, okay? And, like, little known fact, I am in love with Bushmaster, okay? I am in love with all of it, okay? Yes, Luke, you're fine and awesome, but you kind of, like, went left for me this season, and I'm not sure how I feel about it, but I know exactly how I feel about Bushmaster, okay? So I said, he commented on Derek's picture, and I said, what up? I like jerk chicken and coffee. What's really good? I shot my shot, people. Okay? I was direct. I was honest. I didn't try to make him feel like a piece of meat, but the intent was understood. Okay? Being direct and being open and living your truth is fine. Now, I don't know if someone would misconstrue that as creepy. If so, then maybe I do sound crazy. But I would just say, try to not be like, hey, do you want to go to Chipotle on my handlebars of my bike and, like, hang out? No, sir, I don't want to go to Chipotle on the handlebars of your bike and hang out, because I take myself on dates and we eat steak. So what's really good?
So is it the Chipotle or is it the bike?
Okay, my thing is this. If you are trying to approach a lady, put yourself in her position. If she is single, she has been dating herself, which means that she's been taking herself to dinner, to movies, brunch, whatever she likes to do. Okay? And she's probably been doing it very well, because we're not going to treat ourselves like trash bags. Okay? When I go out to dinner, I'm getting the most delicioso wine. I'm getting the best steak I can get. I might get dessert depending on what week this is for me, if I'm cutting carbs or not. Okay, I'm going to treat myself very lovely. If you, as a potential mate, cannot do the same for your partner or better, then don't waste their time, because all you're doing is dragging them down. Unless you are willing to elevate and grow with them and provide them with a future of elevation, not necessarily marriage, but of elevation as a person, then you are wasting their time. We as a society have gotten way too obsessed with instant gratification to be wasting people's time being trash pandas as partners.
Did she say trash pandas?
She said trash pandas, and hashtag that shit because I love it. Wow.
Okay, Well, I can't even call you a trash panda. Mika, because Ronnie has a lot of things to do, she's very busy. Do you have anything else you would like to ask tonight's guest before we ask her to get her shit in?
Let that woman get her shit in. You have to end at trash pandas. You have to.
I'm going to end it at trash pandas. Ronnie, once again, you already know the routine. This is once again the time we tell you to get your shit in and shout out all your social media and where you will be at in the upcoming weeks. And anything else that you want to say shout out to?
Well, shout out to you guys for having me on the show again. I appreciate it, and thank you. It's always a lot of fun, and I always appreciate being able to have real conversations with real people, and you guys are two of the best. So anybody who wants to have fun and an awesome interview and a real-ass conversation with some real-ass motherfuckers, then you definitely need to make sure you're on Wrestling Nerdcast. So that's my plug for you guys, by the way, because I love you. But yeah, my email for bookings, appearances, color commentary, which I actually call Bangalicious commentary. So yeah, that's trademark, by the way. For modeling and speaking engagements and appearances, that is Roni Nicole r@gmail.com, or you can find me on Facebook at Big Bang Rahani Nicole. That's / Big Bang Roni Nicole. My Instagram is Glitterlicious Bang Bang, and my Twitter is @Glitterlicious. Add me on Snapchat, Roni Nicole R. Please don't snap me your dicks, because I already had to block a couple people for that. It is not okay. And I did not ask. Catch me this Saturday at RWA Pro in PA. I will be making a special appearance. Come see who I destroy. Catch me on Wrestle Radio Wednesday, July 11th. And then on Deathmatch Russell's podcast on the 12th. And then at Capital Wrestling for my long-awaited debut on the 14th. And then on the 28th, you can catch me in Atlanta. More details coming soon, but there will be a super cool meet and greet where you guys can come hang out with me and the Spoiled Brats at a nightclub, drinking champagne, popping bottles. Oh, also that Thursday I will be at WWA 4. Not sure who I'm going to face, but make sure you guys go and check them out if you're in the Atlanta area. Big shout out to AR Fox and all the students there. And then hopefully Sunday I will be somewhere else in Atlanta, but I'm still waiting to hear for that. Make sure you download my app in the Google Play Store. Sorry, iPhone users, but you're not that cool. Just kidding. That's coming for you guys soon. And I think that is everything. God, I can't remember all this stuff.
Hey, for the record, Ronnie, I would just like to say that I have your app downloaded on my phone.
Yes, I'm just going to do an update because I want there to be some changes, and then my calendar is still not in there, but I love it so much. And the fact that I throw a severed head, and then that little ping noise it makes, sometimes I just keep doing that.
I'm going to talk to you about, how to get because there needs to be an Incredible Hulk app. But anyway,
God, why?
Ronnie,
is it a sleeping app?
Yeah.
Ronnie, this is my app is just gonna be a bunch of creepy breathing noises.
Oh, that would be so good. I wish I could have a soundboard on mine. The Nasty Boys, they have a soundboard on theirs, with their little catchphrases or whatever. But I don't say anything cool.
I'm just gonna breathe heavy and.
Hold on. Trash Panda. That's the coolest shit ever. Fuck what you heard.
Mika, I stole it. I'm sorry. I stole it from Star-Lord. I'm sorry. I can't take it. I was going to let the episode in, and I was going to take the credit, but I'm trying to be a better person, okay? I'm sorry, Star-Lord, Chris What's-Your-Face, one of the white Chris's. I took that from you. And, I feel bad about it.
Tell him to come get it back if he badass. # Trash Panda. Thank you, Roni Nicole. Tell him to come get it if you're badass. Fuck it.
Well,
thank you, guys. I love you so much. Thank you for having me.
No problem, Ronnie. Thank you, and I will catch up with you later on, all right?
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.
I don't know, Mika, I don't know if we should call this the Trash Panda episode.
We have to. We absolutely positively have to. Trash Panda. That was amazing. I love it.
Oh, Jesus Lord.
I love it. And I love her. It's, some people are so confident in themselves that it comes across cocky. And hers doesn't come across as cocky. Hers comes across as, you know what? I know who I am and I'm good with me, And that's important. I'm not saying for people to, say damn everyone else, but sometimes you have to feel yourself more than you feel everybody else to be true to yourself and everybody else. And I think she's in a place where she's doing that.
Yes, she's been on the show 2 other times, and I feel like we really got to talk to Roni Nicole, the person, and got to clear some stuff up. Anyway, with that being said, Mika, what you got coming up this week?
Honestly, this past weekend killed me. I am hanging by a thread. I will probably hang out this Thursday at WWA 4. They had a show same night as as Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment. So I'm going to go catch the fallout from their show. They were celebrating a year in their facility there. So I might go hang out and check out what the fallout from that is. And just kind of relax this weekend. End of the month, lots of wrestling. July is actually jam-packed with wrestling. There's wrestling up north in the Bronx that I'm interested in. Jimmy fucking Havoc is going to be up there, and I'll be his trash panda all day long. So, hey, can't help it. It's Jimmy Havoc, man. If you have a match with Jimmy Havoc, I am your manager. I swear. I'll turn on you in the beginning of the match, but I just need to be ringside.
I will get a restraining order against you. Anyway, this Thursday, I'm actually working for a brand new show here in Bluefield, West Virginia's USA Championship Wrestling. This will be their second. It's very cool. It's very old schoolish. You can catch it on Facebook Live every Thursday. I'll send you the link, and I'll make sure that we post the link and stuff on our Facebook and our Twitter. There's USA Championship Wrestling in Bluefield, West Virginia. They're making my debut there Thursday. Friday, Columbus, Georgia, for Syndicate Pro Wrestling in Columbus, Georgia. And then from there, from Columbus, Georgia, I will be going to XWE, defending my AIWF World Heavyweight Championship in Kansas City, Kansas. Taking that 13-hour drive to Kansas City, Kansas, while we defending my AIWF World Heavyweight Championship. And then Sunday, from Kansas City, Kansas, all the way back to the great state of North Carolina, Greensboro, North Carolina, Sunday evening, Firestar Pro Wrestling. I will be there in the building Sunday afternoon. So 4 shows, 4 days, 4 different states, a lot of fucking driving.
Yes, indeed. We're hands-free here in Georgia, so drive with your knees.
It's America. You know what? We'll talk about that in a later episode, because that was completely fucked me up. But anyway, anything else, Mika?
No. I mean, listen and watch all the social media, Mika Villas, on all your snaps, your Facebooks, your Twitters, and all that stuff, because I am going to be talking and doing a lot of wrestling-related things, so I want you guys to all keep up and watch and learn.
Exactly. Also, ladies and gentlemen, before we leave, I have to say happy birthday, America. This week, we're recording this Tuesday night. Wednesday will be Independence Day, a.k.a. the birthday of America. Please be safe. Do not drink and drive. If you're going to drink, don't drive. Uber, Lyft, get you a designated driver. Walk if you have to. Don't just think about yourself. Think about everybody else that's going to be out there on the road and stuff. Be responsible. Anyway, on behalf of the Angry Marks Podcast Network, on behalf, a huge shout out to all of our sponsors, Indie Customs, Pro Wrestling World, and what was that again? I can't remember. Was it like unlimited definition?
Behavior driven.
I just want to hear, because CW's been so quiet, just hanging out back there judging us with his little judgy eyes. Our sponsors, Behavior Driven. On behalf of our producer, C.W. Smith, the man, the myth, the legend, on behalf of my co-host, the one half of the world's cutest commentary team, the lover of waffles, the voice of speech impediment, the Adonis of affection, the receiver of all things solicited. Forget one. Chicago win. Miss, give me some tacos. Miss, I love tacos. Miss hashtag, what that mouth do, and a potential trash panda.
Jimmy Havoc's trash panda.
I'm sorry, Jimmy Havoc's trash panda. Receiver of all things unsolicited, Mika Villas. I am your AIWF World Heavyweight Champion, your World Wrestling Grand Prix Champion, the disrespectful intellectual, the Southern Gentleman, the national icon, the reality TV star, the morning star, the incredible Will Huckabee, saying peace out, happy 4th of July, and goddamn it, support independent wrestling.
Woo, bye-bye.